So at this time, we have a presentation for a couple of new courses that we're going to bring in that does require the board to take action and approve these courses beginning in the 2023-2024 school year. And so for that, I will bring up our staff who will present.
Good afternoon, President Tobin, Vice President Silkworth, Dr. Bedell, and board members. For the record, my name is Nicole Howard, and I serve as the Director of Curriculum and Assessments. I am also joined by our amazing coordinators and academics. At the end of the presentation today, we'll be happy to answer questions around these courses. At this time, I will have the team introduce themselves.
Good afternoon, Dr. Bedell, Dr. Tobin, members of the board. My name is Ryan Sackett. I'm the coordinator for career and technical education.
Good afternoon, I'm Allison Delaney. I'm the coordinator for high school.
Good afternoon, I'm Julie Taylor, the coordinator for world languages.
Good afternoon, David Kaufman, senior manager for the Apex Arts Magnet program.
In accordance with board policy for curriculum, today we will present to you 4 courses for your approval. The main goal of our AACPS strategic plan is to ensure that every student meets or exceeds standards as achievement gaps are eliminated. Courses are designed to provide all AACPS students with rigorous, relevant, and inclusive opportunities that are inclusive and enable them to successfully navigate and positively impact the 21st century global society. Ag Explore is a middle school semester-long elective course. It is not required, but is encouraged to increase exposure to the agricultural world for our students to be successful in the Southern High School curriculum for agricultural science education CASE programs. This valuable program gives students access to collegiate-level curriculum where they have the opportunity to earn college credit and valuable career experiences. Furthermore, through project-based learning, students will engage in hands-on experiences exploring the daily impact of agriculture. AACPS will partner with Curriculum for Agricultural Science Education, CASE, to obtain the required curriculum and professional development for teachers. Apex Arts Theater Prime 1 is a year-long middle school course for our Apex Arts Magnet program. The current Apex Arts Creative Writing and Drama Prime is one of the most popular primes with waitlists every year. In order to maximize interest and better meet program capacity, Apex Arts Magnet program is separating the current middle school creative writing and drama prime into 2 different programs with their own curriculum. Apex Arts is excited to announce the launch of a new middle school theater prime. Students will have the opportunity to uncover their many talents, passions, and interact with professionals from career fields in which they have interests. Inside the classroom, students will have the opportunity, sorry, I just read that. Yeah, it's a test. We are thankful that this board previously approved the Spanish for Native Speakers 1A. Today we are presenting Spanish for Native Speakers 1B. It is a middle school course specifically designed for students whose primary language spoken at home is Spanish. This course sets high expectations for Spanish-speaking students to increase their overall academic achievement and engagement. Students will further develop their reading and writing skills in Spanish, increasing the opportunity and access to higher levels of Spanish once in the high school. Students who take Spanish for Native Speakers 1A and 1B will continue to take Spanish for Native Speakers 2 and 3 in preparation of taking the AP Spanish Language and Culture course. Theater Technology and Management 2 is a high school quarter credit course that provides students with leadership skills related to stage production and theatrical direction. It allows students to dive deep into lighting, audio, and scenery production design with stagecraft discipline. As a passion quarter credit course, Theater Technology and Management 2 will promote hands-on experiences as students apply technology and other STEM skills into the arts through the creation of enhanced audio and visual environments for live stage productions. Our plan is to make these courses available for students to enroll in for the 23-24 school year. With that goal in mind, our teams will be working hard to ensure that we put in place all that is necessary around curriculum writing and professional development for student success. At this time, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Howard. I'm not sure the order these came in exactly, so forgive me if I'm getting them out of order, but I believe I will start with Ms. Ellis.
Thank you. Always one of my favorite parts of our board meetings. Love to see the new courses. Just education looks nothing like it did when I was a kid with all these options. That's really great. I have something briefly to say about each and one question. So the agriculture, I have been so impressed with what's been happening down at Southern High School, and this is fantastic. I'm fully in support of the agriculture. Apex Theater, 4-time Apex parent, and I have known many, many kids to come through the program, and separating out these courses is absolutely the correct thing to do. There's a high demand for the theater, and I've known a lot of theater kids who have perhaps would have been more interested if it was more geared towards that. The theater tech, huge need for that. We put on these amazing high school productions, and these kids give so much of their time to learn this so that they can participate in this way, and for them to have a class to teach them these skills is absolutely amazing. So full support of that. So 2 questions. So will that be available at all high schools?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I thought so, but I couldn't remember what I read. And then I wanted to ask real quick the Spanish for native speakers. So I'm speaking as a parent of high school students who have taken Spanish, and they have had Spanish classes with many native speakers, which I've always found kind of a little bit sad, because I almost feel like these kids, well, they're taking this class because it's here and there's no place else to put them. But this is at the middle school level. So I guess 2 questions. A student coming into our system as a high school student don't have this option.
These courses already exist at the high school.
Oh, okay. I
They
wasn't
are
aware
new
of
to
that.
the middle
So then that leads to my other question. How many have you taken the data to find out how many kids are taking advantage of this over just taking a regular Spanish class?
We have about 300 students right now in the Spanish for Native Speakers Course 1 and 2. This is the first year to run the Spanish for Native Speaker Course 3 it's about 23 students. Currently, there is one middle school, Meade Middle School, that's offering the Spanish for Native Speakers 1.
Okay.
So that's about 30 students.
So I don't know what that means in relation to the number of students who are native speakers. I'm just wondering what we can do to encourage these students in that direction, because I do think there are a lot of them who are sitting in the regular Spanish class.
That is our goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's in its infancy stages right now, so that
Okay.
is our goal, is to
Okay.
grow this program.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
And I believe Dr. Bedell had a comment.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that. So your questions are spot on, because I do agree with you. I think as we looked at data and we're looking at the population of ELL and Hispanic students, we know since 2012 or so, we have doubled the number of Hispanic and ELL students in this school district. So having these opportunities for kids to matriculate through the Spanish, the native speaker course, and also putting them on that trajectory where we can also get them to take those advanced placement courses and then take those advanced placement exams, that bodes well for us. I don't know if this state does anything with the seal of biliteracy or anything like that, but there are some states that really do focus on seal of biliteracy. And when I was a superintendent in Kansas City, that was one of the things we jumped on right away, because we had the highest ELL population in the state, and we became a seal of biliteracy school district. So we got to look at as many ways that we can to leverage the changing population in this school district, and that is the main thing that I've been talking to everybody about. We have to look at what the data is telling us. It's coming to our school district, and how do we stay ahead of it? And this is just another example of that with this course.
And Dr.
Great question.
And Dr. Bedell, we also use the seal of biliteracy here in Anne Arundel County.
That's fabulous.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful thing.
Great, thank you. Again, I believe this is next. Ms. Corkadell.
Thank you, President Tobin. Thank you guys so very much. I just want to speak just a couple minutes on the CASE program. And we don't normally do this, but we're talking about a student here, so I'm going to make a personal privilege of exception and thank Ethan Schulfeld for so well expressing, him, and there's many families, part of the Egg family community, that heavily support education. We've got our Agricultural Commission here in our county has an education committee designed just to help support facilities to make sure that these kids, what we don't provide here, that they are also receiving out in the community. And agriculture occurs outside of South County here in the community. I will tell you, just a few years back, one of the winners of 4-H was from Pasadena, a small farm in Pasadena. So, and we do have urban gardening, a lot of grow it, eat it programs to further enrich. I look at this as another great step in expanding our nationally recognized children. They compete with programs that are at a magnet level. As it relates to college credits. And I know we saw a great presentation this spring on it. And so I do look forward to us continuing to build that out, because if our kids can take first place at a national level and compete with kids who are receiving a lot more in ways of education, I know we have great potential. And unfortunately, we don't have time at the other schools to rally enough support, which is this never will be able to achieve. I think historically we have presented obstacles that our students and our program supporters could never achieve. And so I see this as a window of opportunity to maybe break down some of those barriers and continue to encourage this. This is how we get our local food, and this is how we support our local kids in such a great way. So thank you on behalf of many. And I do not have any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Corkadell. Ms. Schallheim.
Yes, this is also one of my most favorite parts of my job, and I just love the courses you all bring to us every single time. They're so well thought through. You meet the needs where they exist, and I'm going to be a proud supporter. Again, as I always am of all of these courses, I just thank you all for your hard work and for your dedication to our students and really growing the opportunities within our schools. It does not go unnoticed on this board member, and I'm just pleased to be supportive. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silkworth.
Thank you, President Tobin. I also would like to say this is absolutely one of my most favorite parts. It's amazing the courses that have been developed over the past couple of years since I've been on the board. You all are fantastic. You all are awesome. I would respond to one comment about our native speakers in our language classes. As a former language teacher, you have to remember that language involves different skills. It's listening, speaking, reading, writing, culture, and relationships, and a lot of other things. And even though you happen to be a native speaker, doesn't mean that you excel in all of those skills. You may excel in some. But I just wanted to make that point. And the theater tech management, that's amazing. I was a thespian when I was in high school. I actually played in grade 7. I have a twin brother. We played in The Prince and the Pauper. That was my introduction. And it was one of the greatest experiences in my life. I have to tell you that. It was made possible. We went to school 7 through 12, grade 7 through 12, and we had, we actually were able to have the productions during the school day and to packed audiences. And that was a little bit disconcerting for a 7th grader, but we did a good job of that, and I enjoyed it so much. We were lucky to have a gentleman by the name of Thomas Halgomer, who was a marvelous drama teacher and artist as well. And I must say, over the past 15 to 20 years, all of our schools, the productions that have been produced, the quality of what our students do under the direction of our staff is simply off the charts. I mean, I've had the privilege to be able to witness so many productions, and I just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that we already have staff and students who are putting on great performances. And so what we're doing is we're helping them make them even greater. So once again, we thank you so much, each and every one of you, and all the drama teachers out there and all the thespians out there. Great job.
Thank you, Mr. Silkworth. I'd just like to add a couple of comments. Yes, as someone who started my career in the professional theater, I've always been impressed with what is offered here. And I'll just say that because I remain involved in theater, with regard to the theater tech course, I have actually had people reach out from professional theaters in Baltimore, here, other places. There's a real shortage of people to do the tech work, who know the tech work. Even Maryland Hall is struggling with that. And there are a lot of people who know AV, but they don't know all of this tech. So I think there's a very real workforce opportunity here with these skills, in addition to the fabulous support it offers for the productions that our students do. So thank you for that. And I always think that theater classes are just one of the great opportunities that kids have to frankly explore what we often refer to as the soft skills, to learn who they are, how to connect, how to express themselves, how to be in front of people, how to read a room, all sorts of things. So thank you for that. And finally, I would just say, so Dr. Bedell knows that I'm a great fan of dual language enrollment, and I think that the courses for native speakers are incredibly important. I think all of Mr. Silkworth's points are well taken. I've certainly been made aware by community members that we have a number of students whose families speak Spanish at home, but their parents may not necessarily be literate in Spanish or English. And so there's a whole list of skills. And I think offering these courses for native speakers is incredibly important. And I think if we do get to the point where we have dual language, that will just support that, because my understanding is that not only do students learn English better in a bilingual setting, they maintain their native language. Mm-hmm. And when we talk about 21st century skills and global impact, a second language is probably one of the most central skills anybody can have. So I just want to put a plug in for that, and to thank you all for the work you're doing. And again, the ag program, I was delighted to hear the presentation last spring, and I remember hearing that this middle school program class was on the way, and so I'm delighted to see this. And just thank you for everything. I think we offer just some fabulous opportunities for our students, and I know there's a really hardworking, dedicated staff behind that, so thank you very much. Ms. Frank.
I was waiting till we moved on to comments.
I'm sorry, we got a
We
little
didn't-
muddled
we didn't
here,
do that
so
this time.
apologies. This is not a good day for me,
Okay.
so please.
No, I just,
Yeah,
I know.
I'm just-
Speaking of multilingual, you get a lot more of that in Europe.
Yeah.
I just had a quick comment to Dr. Bedell. We had an amazing presentation, and I think Ms. Corkadell said it was in the spring, on the CASE program. And I just wanted to put on everybody's radar again. At that time, most of the board had interest in expanding that and offering that to different areas of the county. And I would still be very enthusiastic, and I just wanted to bring that up again, that it's a really amazing program, and I would love to see more of that, you know, growing for food and agriculture in more than just Southern. So just to throw back on your radar. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Silkworth, is that a new light or an old light?
That's an old.
Okay. Sorry for muddling the order there. All right, seeing no additional lights, Dr. Bedell.
All right, so the superintendent recommends approval of these courses beginning 2023-24 school year as presented.
So moved.
All right, seeing no lights, Ms. Money.
Ms. Schallheim.
Aye.
Ms. Dent.
Aye.
Mr. McGrath.
Aye.
Mr. Silkworth.
Aye.
Ms. Frank.
Aye.
Ms. Ellis.
Aye.
Ms. Corkadell.
Aye.
Dr. Tobin.
Aye.
Motion passes 8-0.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.